So I made a video not too long ago explaining basically some of the iPhones with the best battery life. Now it's time to talk about some of the iPhones with the worst battery life as of this point. Now, any of the iPhones that are no longer supported with software, the iPhone 10, 8, 8 Plus, and lower, I'm not really going to hit on. We know that the iPhone 4 doesn't have the best battery life, so there's no point even talking about those ones. I'm specifically hitting on the ones that basically have been supported with software and are supported on iOS 17 basically. Now, first of all, probably the two worst iPhones on iOS 17 in terms of battery life are probably the second and third generation iPhone SEs. These iPhones have some of the lowest milliamp hours on any iPhone available right now, so they're just naturally not going to have that great battery life. It's totally okay, these weren't the most expensive iPhones available, except the SE3 probably could have done a little bit of a better job. But these two iPhones probably on iOS 17 have the worst battery life available on any iPhone right now that are still currently supported. It's not the end of the world, we kind of know what we're getting with, and they still use lightning ports, so you can always connect a lightning port this thing and be okay. But those are probably the worst iPhones on iOS 17 that are currently supported with the worst battery life as of this point. The second one, if we're not counting those two as two separate phones, is probably the iPhone 12 mini. I would probably argue that this specific phone might have the worst battery life out of all of them right now. At least from my experience, this has kind of been the thing that I've seen time and time again. With that iPhone 12 mini, the battery life wasn't horrible, but it really just wasn't that good. And with its smaller size and with its smaller size battery, that was kind of one of its biggest turnoffs. So as of this point, again with the iPhone 12 mini, you're basically going to be getting an iPhone that probably has some of the worst battery life on one of the iPhones on iOS 17. And from my experience, that's kind of what I saw here. And that's kind of exactly what's going on in this specific case as well. Now on top of that, another iPhone that kind of pains me to say, but probably the iPhone 11 and iPhone 10R, at least with the specific iPhone 10R and iPhone 11 that I have. On iOS 17, it hasn't really been the greatest battery life, but the biggest problem here for the most part is that with these two phones, at least the ones I have, they've been degraded. The battery life has been degrading over time. So they just keep getting worse and worse, which is just expected as of this point. So that's going to be something that also happens here, that the battery life really isn't going to be that great, but that's kind of okay. That's kind of what's expected with these types of older phones. So that's probably something to keep in mind in the back of your head. So those are pretty much the worst iPhones I can think of in terms of battery life on the current supported version on iOS 17. I will keep doing battery tests and I'll keep letting you guys know essentially what I think of the battery life on these devices. But as of right now, that's kind of what the battery life looks like on some of these iPhones on iOS 17. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.